Hey guys, welcome to another video, and welcome to probably one of my last review videos of the year. I'm shooting my best and worst videos the same night I'm shooting this. Yep, this year is basically almost come to an end, and this past week I put the pedal to metal and I saw a bunch of movies that I had somewhat interest of seeing, and just movies that I just want to see what they're all about, if they would have made my top 10 best and worst of the year. Spoilers, every movie I'm about to talk about, none of them are going to be in my best or worst of the year, so could have made the video anyways, but whatever. There are more movies I still need to watch that came out this year that I just never got the chance to watch. I'll maybe do it sometime next year or 4 or 5 years from now. Who the flying fuck knows? But I'm done for the year after this. I'm done. I'm going on vacation. Gonna be gone for about a week and a half, so I'm just trying to get these videos out to you guys, and then when I get back, I'll be making my overrated and underrated movies of the year, and I'll probably do a whole video about 2024 and what I think about it. So let's get to it. There are 7 films I want to talk about in these quick movie reviews. These are 7 films I saw in this past week. First movie up, Ferrari, starring Penelope Cruz, Adam Driver, Patrick Dempsey, Shailene Woodley, and Sarah Gadon. The movie is directed by Michael Mann, a filmmaker that doesn't always knock out of the park, but I really enjoy him as a director. I love Heat, Last of the Mohegans, Miami Vice, Tokyo Vice. I love fuck else, Collateral. I think he's a great director. I think he was the right choice for this kind of movie. This is during like the bankruptcy, during that the guy, it was an Enzo Ferrari that went through and stuff during the 50s, and how he built his empire and everything. It's really cool. Not as interesting as like a 4V Ferrari, the competition between those two companies, but this is still an interesting story. And I think Adam Driver does a very good job. He's a damn great actor, and he's very good in this movie. I think Penelope Cruz is also a huge standout. Shailene Woodley and Patrick Dempsey. Patrick Dempsey, man, an actor I've never liked. Had a good year. This and Thanksgiving, I enjoyed him in both. Good job, dude. That was decently directed. There's a lot of slow moments. There's moments that kind of bored the hell out of me, and there's a scene that kind of went on for too long. But for what it was, a Ferrari story that, again, I don't know a lot about cars, but it was kind of cool. I was kind of intrigued, and I wasn't ashamed that I saw it. I'm glad I saw it. It wasn't top notch, but I enjoyed it for what it was. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I'll give Ferrari a 7.8 out of 10. So yeah, not bad. Next is Rustin. Rustin is a movie I really didn't like. I thought I would have liked it because it's about, what's his name? Bayard Rustin, the guy who was an advisor to Martin Luther King. This is all about a man fighting for gay rights and racial equality in the world in this time period. This was like what, the 60s and stuff. The movie is directed by George C. Wolfe, is his name. The movie has a pretty big cast: Coleman DiMaggio, Jeffrey Wright, Chris Rock. Chris Rock's alright in the movie. I just didn't find the movie very interesting. Very surface level, by the books, and it's one of those movies that has like, this is the answer to solve everything. Nothing else. This is the answer, and I'm like, no, it's not. It's a one-sided sort of movie, and I thought it would have been a great, interesting, important film to talk about racial inequality, but it gives no answers, and it says nothing new or interesting, and I thought it was lazy, and I thought it was annoying, and I thought some of the acting was good, but I didn't think the story was going in a direction that I thought was enjoyable or likable, and it should have been for a story like this. So I was very disappointed by it. I was not a fan of it. I give Rustin a 4 out of 10. I'm not a fan. Then American Fiction I saw with Jeffrey Wright. American Fiction, it was kind of a cool story that looked like about this novelist who likes to write very smart intellectual novels, but then he writes a book about being like this gangster, this like, I guess, hoodlum and stuff, and he thinks if he writes like one of them, his book will be published and stuff. So it's a lot about the culture and the black culture and how to publish a book and how to talk and everything. It's pretty funny. There's a lot of things I found very funny in this movie, and I thought Jeffrey Wright was pretty solid in this movie. He was a lot better in this movie than he was in Rustin, and I thought he was good. I thought the girl who played his wife, she was pretty good in the movie too. It has a sense of humor and has a message to say. The message is pretty spot on in some moments, completely wrong in other moments. For what it is, it was pretty good. Definitely not a movie I would check out again. It's not like a laugh out loud hysterical movie, and it's not like a powerful movie that really like just grabbed me. But it was fine for what it was. I'd give American Fiction a 7 out of 10. So cool. I saw Silent Night as well. Uh, this was interesting. It's a John Woo movie, and I thought like a John Woo movie that should be a pretty crazy movie. And it's got Joel Kinnaman, and he's silent. I didn't know the whole movie was like silent. It's like a silent film, hence why it's called Silent Night. And like Christmas action movie. I liked the shtick, but after 40 minutes, I was getting a little tired of the shtick. There's some cool action scenes, some cool brutality, and there's like John Woo knows how to craft an action scene, but it got real old real quick, and the whole movie is reliant on the shtick, the silence, and how it's all quiet and everything. It's just this one trope that it's just using to carry the 95-minute action film, and it gets real old real quick. So yeah, I thought it was just meh. I'd give Silent Night a 5 out of 10. Could have been a lot better. Then I watched The Zone of Interest. Now, this was an intriguing film for, like, a lot of reasons. This is literally about this family that buys this, like, home, their dream home, but this dream home is built right across from a it's Auschwitz, isn't it? Auschwitz concentration camp. So it's like this like beautiful story of this German family living their great lives, but they hear constant awful things through Auschwitz of people dying, and it's like a very horrific movie. It's like, what the hell? The movie's directed by Jonathan Glazer, so it's very much of his style, and it stars the woman who played in Anatomy of a Fall, which I have not checked out yet, and I don't have the time to check it out, but she was really great in this movie. This movie actually has a pretty genius story idea about this family, and it's like this this like kind of like wealthy family living a good life, and their life is so good, but they are beside something that is truly horrific. And what do you do about it? And what would you do about that? And do you just like carry on with your life, or like how do you live your life? How do you ignore it? It's so interesting how they have to like try to ignore it and just like pretend it doesn't exist and turning a blind eye. It's actually quite fascinating. And as much as it is very depressing and definitely not a movie I would ever want to watch again, I'm glad I saw it. It was quite intriguing and it had a pretty cool, unique story. I'll give The Zone of Interest an 8 out of 10. Great film. Next is Poor Things. This is the movie everyone's been telling me. This is the film. This is the fucking movie that will finally make you a fan of Yorgos Lanthimos. I don't see it. I don't see it. I try. I watch every movie he makes. I try to like it. Didn't like The Lobster, Killing of a Sacred Deer, The Favorite. I'm just not a fan of this guy. I don't like his comedy. I don't like his style. I don't like. I get it. He's all weird with his camera movements. He's very Stanley Kubrick. He's like Stanley Kubrick meets Wes Anderson. Very kooky and quirky and how he does it and stuff. But like, as much as I'm a fan of Wes Anderson, I think his shtick gets real old and real tired because I hated his last two films. But this guy, I'm not on board with him. I'm just not a fan of his work. I'm not a fan of his storytelling. I can never get invested with his movies and his characters. I don't like it. I don't like it. They're weird and unlikable and not pleasant to watch. And I just don't ever like his movies. And this is no exception. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I liked Emma Stone a lot in this movie. Her career this year is so great because she has been so good in everything, but the things she's played in, I've hated them all. She was in this show, I think it was like called The Curse or something. It was so stupid, but she was so good in it, but the show was just so bad. And this movie's not bad, it's just not anything I like about it. Is it got beautiful costumes and beautiful makeup and great performances and unique cinematography. Yes to all. Just not a story I like. Not a characters I like. The kind of even music and scores and the mood is not something I like. Just everything about this movie is something I just don't like. I don't like this kind of filmmaking. I'm not a fan of this guy, Yorgos Lanthimos. Even though I go into every movie with an open mind. But wasn't a fan of Poor Things. I give it a 5 out of 10. I know everyone's going to hate me because everyone's saying it's like one of the best fucking movies of the year. Enjoy it. I'm not asking you to not enjoy it. Lastly, Rebel Moon Part 1. Movie that I completely forgot it came out. Had to check it out, though, because Zack Snyder's Star Wars movies. Oh, gotta see it. Gotta see it. Is it good? Is it finally gonna put Zack Snyder and those A-list directors? Absolutely not. This movie is a very basic, generic story. It has great actors. You got Charlie Hunnam. You got Anthony Hopkins and Ray Fisher and a bunch of other people in this movie. And none of them are interesting. Nothing about this movie was interesting. The visual effects were okay. The action was beyond safe. I just could care less what was going on. It was such a basic sci-fi adventure movie. And it's like something that came out in 1998, but with the visual effects of today. It's a movie no one will remember. I'm sorry. I know everyone's been building up to this big Rebel Moon movies, the Zack Snyder, Star Wars like movies. It's not that great. It's not shit. It just wasn't that great. I literally, after it was done, after this 2-hour movie was done, I was like, well, that was underwhelming, and yeah, I probably won't remember this movie. Wasn't that great. Simple as that. Not that great. I gave Rebel Moon a 4 out of 10. That's it. Quick movie reviews. I gave you 7 films I'm going to talk about. Look forward to my next videos of the best and worst of 2023. Let me know in the comments below what are your thoughts and opinions on all these movies I just talked about. Comment below, let me know. And as always, for this video, please subscribe to this channel and join the dark side.